Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. On other channels, they all got no bollocks. Today, I'm joined by Big Sean from Scunny. How you doing, Sean?
Really well, Porky. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. So, now that the dust has settled, Big Turkey's piped up, and he says there's going to be no 500 for the Big Gypsy Dossie. What do you think? No 500 million.
Yeah, I remember him saying he won't come back for it, and he's confirmed that they won't be getting at least even 250 mil each. So I suspect he's still going to be sitting on top of the bay for some time. Then, yeah, I don't think he even the likes of um, Turkey should be held to ransom. So good on him. Good on him. If he's demanding that much for a fight when he's lost two on the bounce, then it's good that someone's given him a little bit of a dose of reality.
I don't even think that there's 500 million between them over a trilogy, do you?
No, I don't. I think Tyson says a lot of things and talks about figures. Cameron was only going to come back for 1 billion, and now it's 500,000. Maybe he'll just keep half in it until Turkey says yes. But yeah, I don't think that fight's got legs in it when they're both gone. I wouldn't want to watch it three times, and I don't think they deserve to get paid. What would that be? What 100 millions of each? Yeah, not a chance. Good on him. I didn't think I'd say that often as well, but yeah, good on him.
What did you think, Sean, about Big Meech, aka Anthony Joshua, coming out calling Fury out and practically him and Eddie Hills begging for this Fury fight? Do you think Fury's got the upper hand here?
I do. Well, AJ's got not got really anywhere to go unless he resurrects Dillian. But I don't think even anyone wants to see Dillian fight. Now he's fighting on a Tim Pot coverage, albeit on his own. But yeah, I think Fury will always have the upper hand because um, he's a better boxer. I don't think he's got a better resume necessarily, but yeah, AJ's chinny, but he's going to chase that fight because Eddie will tell him to, won't he?
Yeah, yeah, he will. Well, he's got a lifetime deal with Joshua. Eddie Hills.
He wants to squeeze some more out of that 60 mil he's had, doesn't he? So
Well, yeah.
as long as there's a few more pips left in it, he'll keep squeezing, and AJ will do what he's told, I suspect. I know Eddie always talks about he works for AJ, but I think it's a little bit more even than that, and he certainly listens. He turned over with him, and he's had him since then. So I think he'll do what Eddie advises him to, whether it's ill-advised or not.
Well, according to Company House, he's had 60.7 million out of him since he turned pro.
That's not bad for a man who was lucky to win his Olympic title in his own time, and has had some spectacular losses, isn't it? He's not done badly earning, and nor has Eddie, has he?
They've
And
done
he
well out of him, haven't they? Basically they've marketed all that stay hungry and be humble rubbish and eat all your greens and be big and strong like Hulk Hogan, haven't they? All that nonsense.
They have. They still won't pay the finder's fee, the intro fee to Carl. So it shows the how tight they are. But yeah, he is the epitome of the modern marketed boxer, the 258 management and all the hype and the making out that you're Mr. Company Man, but then trying to revert to Roadman when you're trying to build a bit of hype as well. He's done well for a man with a few ounces in his boot 13 year ago and 14 year ago, hasn't he?
Yeah. Did you know that 0.1% of that money is £67,000? So if he gives Froch 67 grand finder's fee, that's 0.1%. Or he could just go on Froch's channel, couldn't he? And give him his moment. Why won't he go on Froch's on fighting, Eddie?
I think the answer to that is what many of us suspect is because he is used to controlling the narrative with the in-house stomping ground, Puppy Parsons, IFL, and all the other sycophants. Carl's not going to do that, is he? Carl's going to ask him some difficult questions, not allow him to prep for it, and put it on him like he used to put it on people in fights. And I don't think Eddie, whether despite being 6-0 by way of KO, he's going to be able to stand up to that. He's certainly not going to like it, is he?
No, no, he isn't. Uh, Time and all this Wilder AJ talk at the moment. I think it's poppycock, but My argument is this: Wilder's finished, so why talk about it? It'd just be spoon fed for Joshua. But do you remember, Sean, April 2017? That's 8 years ago. Wilder on the ring apron, flown over first class, uh, put up at the London International Hilton at Wembley, working for Sky. Him and Eddie and Super Bean all ringside. Eddie Hills, Super Bean, Horsecock, and all the rest of them. Matt Macklin, all the rest of them, all ringside and all saying AJ fights the winner. Wilder fights the winner of AJ Vladimir. That was 8 years ago this April. We've still not had that fight, have we?
I remember it happening. I did not realize it was that long ago. So a fight nearly 10 years in the makings now, 2 years too late, which just shows that the right fights don't get made. And at that time, I suspect in terms of risk to reward ratio, I don't think Eddie would have wanted him anywhere near Wilder personally, because despite being a limited boxer, um, he had that hand to put people to sleep at the time. I know his career and his reign's aged very badly since Wilder, but I don't. I do remember that being hyped, but it's funny that they're only now chasing it now. Wilder's lost what, three on the bounce or three fights that mattered. So yeah, 8 years ago, that just shows how long things brew and overcook and then don't happen. And if we do finally get fed it, it's going to be stale portions.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? 8 years this April since they said AJ and Wilder or Vladimir and Wilder. AJ since then has been down 9 times officially since that interview with Wilder, and 10 times if you count that extra one with the bar that Marcus McDonald missed. Trying to give Eddie Hills and Joshua a gift. So Joshua's been floored 10 times since that interview.
Yeah,
Wilder's lost God knows how many times. Several times have been floored. So why should the fans put up with getting it now when we could have had it 8 years ago when they were undefeated?
they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Absolutely. That fight is so long ago. I had hair and could see my toes. It is well past its sell by date, and I don't think any of us need to see that. But people will watch it. People will tune in, and if Eddie does his sycophantic promotion, they'll build it into something it would have been 8 years ago, but it certainly isn't now. But yeah, one Wilder needs to retire, and AJ is shot as well, isn't he?
Well, if they fight the shot, if Fury and AJ fight, they're shot because Fury can't pull trigger. Look at this is how I look at it, right? And Froch touched on it months ago, right? Fury don't faint as much, right? He goes for walkabout. He don't throw as many punches. It's a sign of a fighter getting old. We
Yeah.
know that his brain's telling him what to do, but his body can't do it. So he don't pull trigger because of what's coming back. Every time he pulled trigger at Usyk, something came back. That uppercut underneath his chest came back, and it really hurt Tyson with that.
Yeah.
And that's why Tyson won't keep firing back at Usyk. Usyk knows where to punch. He's not a headhunter, is he, Usyk?
No.
He's a body puncher, but he swarms all over him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now, I look at it like this. Fury's shot to bits, AJ's shot, Wilder's shot, Zhang's shot. Let's get them out at sports. But they're hanging around like a bad smell because there's money about, isn't there?
There is, and I've got a horrible fear, and I don't know why, and I don't
They're
think
not going to
anybody,
go away.
and I don't think anybody said it, but I've got a horrible fear. One of the fighters that I really do like as a person, I've got a horrible fear they're going to resurrect Joe Joyce for a AJ comeback if someone else don't step forward.
Well, Joyce could beat him, man. But the punch resistance has gone, hasn't it? On all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, and I worry for Joyce. I don't mean to segue, but he's closer to 40 now, and he's taken some. He always led with his chin, but it used to hold up. But despite Sam Jones's claims that he had a super thick skull, which was proved scientifically impossible, he's shot now, and I worry that they're going to dig him up and feed him through. He couldn't put Cash Ali away, and that's no disrespect to Cash Ali, but he's gone. He's gone as his resistance. Yeah, I've got a horrible fear they're gonna, if AJ can't wheel someone out, they're gonna pull that out. If he's got, I don't know how many fights he's got on his lifetime deal or how many they want to squeeze out of him, but I worry that they'll pull that one out the bag, and because they fought as amateurs and one got robbed of his Olympic gold and the other one got gifted it. I don't know if they'll make it out something, market something like that. It was just me thinking from some of the interviews I've heard recently.
Yeah. Well, look, AJ shot Wilder Fury, Usyk's on slide, Chisora, oh my God, Dylan White, Joe Joyce, Pulev, all hanging around like bad
Mm.
smells.
And Pulev. Possibly Pulev's one they'll wheel out again because he's got that fictitious WBA regular title despite being knackered
Yeah,
and it not being a real belt. Would they
yeah,
bring him out again? But they need to be careful because, like I say, AJ can no longer get hit on the chin, can he? So it doesn't matter who, unless they pull someone out with zero power, who's he going to fight?
exactly, exactly. It's an absolute joke, is it? An absolute joke.
You know,
Uh, White Rhino is on Talk Sport. He's saying he won now.
I
Did
saw
he
that.
lose? Did he win? What's going on here with him and Daddy Fud's son, Elmer?
I saw that, and then he's popped up on what was BBTV Boxing Now Aki's piece,
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about talking about
In-house
he'll
media.
yeah he'll even have he said he'll even fight Chisora if he loses to Warlin. So
Because he knows he'll get paid.
yeah, of course he does. Dave's the one thing Dave's been honest about is he talks about wanting to win a British title, but he wants money, doesn't he? And he still feels like he's
No, 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 no. He don't want belts. They want paying.
no, I know that. I mean, he talks about he wants to be the only
Oh,
one of his three fighting
oh.
fans with a British title, but he wants dosh, doesn't he? He wants money. That's what he wants, and he'll
They
get
want to
paid
build
with it.
profiles up. This is what's wrong. They're building profiles up when they're not going to gym. What they're doing, they're pressing buttons on social media instead of pressing the feet down on that hard road in the morning, doing some hard work.
Well, you gave the best advice for Dave before he did come back properly. Was it he needed to take a year off social media and
Take a
actually
year off
train?
social media and people will take you seriously, but he hasn't, has he? Still, he's
No,
on now trying to eat off my plate.
and I know that he talks about having hard done to, and I'm a big Dave fan. I know we all have biases, but when you contextualised it about the fact he had a chance, not many boxers turn over and get a chance to be paid to box, and he had a chance off Hobson for all his faults to fight and be paid, and he couldn't do it, and he couldn't keep out the kitchen cupboard, and he messed that up, didn't he?
Yeah. Eddie Hill's handing out deadlines to Tyson Fury. He's got 22 days left to make a decision on the AJ fight. Like Tyson gives a flying about that one.
Absolutely. So we want about Tyson. Tyson is not going to be pressured into fighting anyone, particularly when it's Eddie Hearn, is he? So he can put all the fictitious deadlines he wants. I'm not sure if Tyson's currently conscious or compos mentis, but whether he is or he isn't, he's not going to be listening to Eddie Hills, is he?
Last seen coming out the dog and duck in Morecambe with Bamba Gascoigne.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Yeah, I suspect Paris is probably just currently laid him in the shower and put it on cold for a week to wake him up. But who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows,
2 hours
Potty?
later, Eddie pipes up on Boxing Social and says AJ Bacoli in Africa is in serious talks. I mean, there's just no letting up from these vagabonds and charlatans, is there, Sean?
No, although part of me wouldn't mind seeing that because I think Bacoli
I
would
would.
absolutely snap him in half. And Bacoli is a hard night's work for anyone. I know he's fought when he's been a bit overweight and stuff, but he still retains the fitness. And the one time he's looked bad was against a smaller guy that could move, wasn't he, when he quasi quit? But Billy Nelson doesn't sound like he's just hyping his fight up. He seems extremely confident that Bacoli could snap most of the division, perhaps with the exception of Atama, but nobody needs to see that fight when he's 20. But yeah, but I would like to see it. I don't think it'll happen unless AJ's got nowhere to go, but I think Bacoli would snap him in half.
I do. I do. I think it's absolutely running ragged deal. The hype around Moses Matome and this Mike Tyson record, it seems to be gathering momentum because they're looking at fighting Ergovic and then getting in position for WBO. You know, if Usyk vacates or he's forced to fight somebody, then he's getting stripped. He
Yeah.
might not get the record. It might be a few months out. But do you think it'd be like buying that kid a belt just for the PR?
Yeah, but the Warren Boxing Organization have been very good at awarding belts to his fighters, haven't they, since its inception when it started to really grow in the mid 90s. So that wouldn't surprise me. I had a sneaky suspicion that they might try and WBA route it by getting him to fold Pulev in half, but the WBO always seems the easiest route to Warren because he has such a close relationship with him. I'm not sure if he's got shares in it, but he's got a very good relationship with them, hasn't he, old Bricktop?
Oh yeah, he's well in with them, isn't he? Old Bricktop, the
He's the
old
one. He's
WB.
he's the one that turned that belt from being seen as a WBU type, IBO type, isn't he? So they owe. I suspect they feel like they owe him because he built that belt as much as it built his fighters, didn't they? Because when the likes of Eubank and Co were winning them belts, we remember it in retrospect, but they weren't really seen as top four belts, were they? Then
No, no. Riddick Bowe had one. He got rid of it, didn't he?
I didn't know that, but I don't
He
doubt
got
you.
rid of WPC in the bin, and he got rid
He
of.
did. I remember him being in that one.
Did he take one off Herbie Hyde, Barry Earns fighter? He got
Yes,
rid of that
he
one as
did.
well.
2 times, because that's why we don't remember Herbie Hyde as really a 2-time world heavyweight champion, because it was a WBO he won both times when no one cared about it, did he?
Well, Ring Magazine didn't sanction it as a belt, did they, for years?
Well, that's indicative of the stock that it was held in then, when Ring Magazine had some credence before it became the Turkey PR rag.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, David Adelaide, would you like to see him with Moses Tomei or Dave Allen?
I again biases. I really like Dave Allen, so I don't want Moses Atama anywhere near him. Again, my Yorkshire bias, but I think Atama would severely hurt um, Dave, and I think he needs that like a nail in the head. Um, I think Adelaide is quite a fearless boxer. I think his defeat to Wardley's aged very well, as has his comeback against Dacres, who was, as well as being a lovely man, a good boxer. I think Adelaide would fight anyone, and I think he would definitely be a test for a Talma. Obviously, Warren controls slash promotes both of them, so I'm not sure if they'd feed Adelaide to him. It's probably how much stock they see in Adelaide in terms of his career if he loses. But it would allow a timer to get his hands on the English belt, although he's looking far beyond it, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you about it, mate. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I just think that you think we're being pissed on from a high height
I
by
think,
promoters and media at the moment.
yeah, I think we're being pissed on from a considerable height, and they're laughing while they're weeing. And the boxing public, who by and large seem to lap it up and pretend that it's rainwater, um, just buy into it. But yeah, and it annoys me that people continue to accept shit fights, no fights, and crap matches with has-beens or people who are past it, and they put all the PR around it and all the crap pseudo media YouTube wonks around it to build it up and lap it up, and then we tune in, thinking we're watching good fights and good cards as opposed to shite.
Yeah. Do you think that Dubois and Parker's seem to be going under the radar that fight?
Yeah, it does a little bit, and I think Parker. We always forget that Parker's been a world champ. Obviously, it was a DBO WBO title, and he was a champ when he was about 23, and he's had some good wins. But yeah, the fight does seem to go in under. I think because what Fury does when everyone else is getting some PR is he announces he's retiring, doesn't he? And that's probably shone. Took a bit of shine off it. But yeah, I do think it's going under the radar. I think it could be a very good fight. I'm a big fan of Parker. I think he's a very respectful, decent person that seems to have been sort of adopted by Brits really because they'll tune into him, almost see him as one of our own. Um, but yeah, I do think it's gone under the radar, and I don't think it's an easy fight for Dubois either because despite not being a massive heavyweight, um, he's still a Parker's still a big lump. He's 6'4". He's 17, 18 stone. He's won a world title before, and he's had some really good wins, albeit most recently against some aging people as well. But yeah, I do. I think it's fallen the radar, but I think it's a proper fight. I don't think it's a gimme. I'm not saying it's a 50-50, but it's not a gimme between two shattered shop fighters because Parker's fought everyone and been around forever. But what is he still? Early 30s?
Parker, yeah, he's only 33, yeah.
Yeah, and yet he's been around for since Godwell had won. He was fighting the world champ, I think, 2016.
Well, he's got 3 wins over world champions, Parker. Fury's only got 4.
Well, it just shows you, doesn't it, how we misrepresent and misremember the records of Fury, don't we? But yeah, no, good fight, good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think Fury really had everybody hooked, with all this GOAT talk and best of his era, because he's a larger than life character? When really, when you take a closer look at his record, it's not as big, it's not
Yeah.
as what they make out, but the media
No,
know this, but they never pull him up on it, do they?
no, and I think there's a myth around Fury that he's always kept it real and he's real. And like AJ's obviously become a brand and was a brand from the off, but so's Tyson. Some Egypt bought me a Furiosity set for Christmas and his bloody aftershave, which just shows you that Fury's become a brand with his TV series and his products and stuff. So Fury's just a rougher edge brand as AJ. Yeah, and I think too many of us have fallen for it. Yeah, he's become more I won't say style, but more brand than substance over the years. And he's got old before eyes and he's lost 2 deserved fights that he's still disputing. Now he's rocking up on the Bay with Bamba.
This Ben Eubank nonsense, the stalling block now is the rehydration clause. Uh, I'm saying Ben is a light middle. He's coming up to middle. Ben's saying he's a welter coming up to middle. But he's not fought at welterweight since April 2022. So technically, he's a light middle in really if he's had 2 fights at that weight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he'll try and bleed because we know that Ben's got a we've all met him before. People with victim who think the victims. He's got victim status and fake victimhood. He's a man from the streets via a private education, and he's a man who's been wronged despite having more clomiphene in him than a bodybuilder. So yeah, he'll now claim that he's a little man and he's the underdog, and he's stepping up 2 weights as opposed to it just being the one because Eubank used to fight at 168 when he was only ever really 160. He never really walked around more than 168. So yeah, it's just the latest saga in Ben claiming that he's a victim and the odds are against him. And his arrogance in interviews, he's genuinely one of the few boxers, because most boxers are decent people. He's one of the few boxers that I hope loses. And I don't want any boxer to get hurt, but I hope he gets spun on his head, even by an aging Eubank, who himself isn't Mr. Likeable, is he? But at least he'll call out promoters who are scumbags and he'll call a spade a spade.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Uh, the welterweight division, the middleweight division, and the super middleweight division. Would you say they're the 3 weakest divisions at the moment?
I do, and they used to be the strongest, didn't they? When we
Yeah.
look back for some of the previous eras, and that's the sad thing. Yeah, they are, and I think that will enable people to float between some of those divisions and pick up belts. The fact that someone like Ben could potentially win, whether he wins or loses, they'll remarket him and he'll mythically get a ranking. The fact that someone like that could potentially be in line light for a shot and nearly get a shot at a proper belt against Barrios is symptomatic of how weak those divisions are, isn't it? When someone like Ben, who's never won a belt, or well, he got gifted a WBA Continental, but someone like that in the rankings in the top five, that shows you how weak those divisions are. The super middleweight, it used to be packed, didn't it? To be in the top five in Britain used to be something, but now it's barren. And no disrespect to the current British super middleweight champ, but he'd have been hard pressed to get in the top 10 a decade ago, wouldn't he?
Oh, Conor Ben.
But no, Callum Simpson, sorry, super
Oh,
middleweight. I'm
Callum
just
Simpson.
talking
Sorry,
about those
sorry.
divisions. No disrespect
Super
to them.
middleweight. Oh,
Yeah, they're all weak. They are weak. They're weak division. They used to be packed, particularly with good Brits in them as well. Obviously, looking at it through a British lens. Yeah, they're now 3 weak divisions globally and nationally, which is quite sad, really, because I always enjoyed watching those divisions because they weren't too light that no one had any power, but they weren't too heavy. So you're watching some cumbersome fighters. They used to be for me, they used to be the key divisions to what for watchability.
you remember all the hype around Callum Smith?
I do, I do remember it when he was Super Six in it and was going to be the next of the 74 Smith brothers to fight for a world title. Yeah, I do remember the hype around that. Obviously, he beat a Shot Groves, and then got found out. Well, not found out because it's it's no shame in losing to Canelo, but I think he was. Very well trained by Gallagher and probably didn't get the loyalty rewarded by the Smith brothers. But yeah, I think he was more hype than substance, but he's still fighting, albeit on lower cards. So we shall see. Is he fighting Boatsy now?
Yeah, yeah, so they say, but I'd watch that. We watch that space on this one, would you? Because I don't know what it is with Callum Smith, but I think people have like looked at him and thought he's just been around years and he's not engaging, is he? And who's his
No,
win? Tell me his best win, him.
One Armed Groves, Knackered
Who's his
Groves.
second best win? Rocky Fielding, according to Box, right?
Yeah, yeah, a domestic fighter. Obviously, uh, was it Rocky that nicked a pretend belt off Tyron Zug? But yeah, if that's your second best fight, then his resume, and we have to judge him on the resume, not just for the fact that he's not much of a, not very good in front of a camera, but his resume is not very good, is it? Whether he won't
No,
manage to win a title or not.
no, it ain't, mate. It ain't. It's absolute pony macaroni. But what can you do? What do you think to Adrian King, who Curtis Woodhouse is training? There's big things planned for him, isn't there?
Oh, the young fat lad from Driffield. I've been listening to Curtis's channel quite a bit. Yeah, and I like how he got into boxing because Curtis was going into schools and he was getting bullied despite being a big lump and got a bit of confidence stuff. He's got some power. Dave talked about sparring him and how he's a good kid. He seems very humble. He's very young. Again, he's from Yorkshire, albeit East Yorkshire, so not proper Yorkshire, but he's a fighter that I'll enjoy watching. But as to what the level of his talent is, I don't know. And whether Curtis will manage to keep hold of him, I'm not sure because Curtis is good at falling out with people, whether it's online or in reality. And he used to manage the football team in the town I live in. So we shall see. But he seems to be a good prospect. But if he's that good, I think he'll get snapped up by he'll end up on the zone soon or fighting or promoted by someone else. I know he's only trained. I'm not sure if he's managed by Curtis, but yeah, we shall see. But yeah, he's certainly got the time. What is he, 18, 19, and a big lump? So he's not even grown. I don't want to misquote saying he's not got his man strength, but he's a growing lad and he's doing well so far, isn't he? Although he's fought no one. But that's to be
Yeah,
expected.
yeah, he's had a handful of fights and he's doing all right. I keep saying to Max, why don't you get in with him? I think he might be a bit too
Is Max
sharp.
still is Max still fighting? I know he's very heavy, too heavy when he does fight,
Yeah,
but
Max is still down as a professional, but I'm not sure if he's renewed his license. But he's ticking over. But I just don't think Big Ron can get him any dates. Plus, Max is not short of a few quid, you see, so he just does it as like an hobby, doesn't he?
well, we can't, like I say, good luck to him on that one. I think if he
Yeah,
does fight, he needs to lose a lot of weight, doesn't he?
yeah,
If he does, and that's not a disrespect. And when the fact I think he owns a gym and is a strength and conditioning coach, he knows how to do it. But then again, I'm a qualified strength and conditioning coach, and I'm a fat sod, so pot kettle black, Porky.
but it's just consistency, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like me. I'm hungry now at the moment. I've had a plate of lasagna at 7:30, and I'm hungry. But I know if I start now, it's wrong time to eat, isn't it?
absolutely. The reason I weigh more than I should is because I'm late, because I'm greedy, and I burn more calories than I eat. There's no science to it, really. We all know how to lose weight, don't we? We choose
Yeah,
not to. So I hope if he does fight on, he loses a bit of weight and gets a bit more consistency. Because I like hearing him on the channel.
yeah, yeah. I do. Yeah, Max is a good lad. He's loyal. Max. He's a good laugh.
It's a good trait to have as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I put a reward out a year ago today, £1,000 for anybody with information of one of the 100 people that John Fury knocked out. I'm now withdrawing this £1,000. Thank God nobody got in touch.
I don't think that grand was ever at risk unless the people were allowed to be made up in John's memory. But no, I think that was a safe £1,000.
Yeah.
I think that was safer than putting it under the bed Porky. But yeah, it is quite telling, isn't it, that there were no takers
There were no
because
takers to say, yeah, John fought so and so in a bare knuckle. But in John's head, I mean, if you walk up to somebody in a pub, they're half your size and they're not looking, and you punch them in the back of the head and knock them out, that is not a bare knuckle fight, is it?
No, I had it myself when I was doing the doors. I had many people that punched me in the head and then claimed they'd beat me up. No, you punched me in the head when I was still on the side, but thank you. But yeah, I think Fury's well, we know what John is. He's a bully, isn't he? And he doesn't back it up with. We've all seen him in the ring having a sleep due to Henry Akinwande, who wasn't a renowned, exciting fighter. So I think that tells you all you need to know about Matt Tyson's father.
You know, when he told me about that fight in his brother Peter's gym on Ali Rail Road, there were me, Robin Reed, and Dave Allen there, right? When he told me about that Henry Akinwande fight, he told me about it like he were a roadman killer, former world champion, and it were a life and death. And then when I put it on, he were 11 and 0 or something, this guy, and he were a novice. But the
That's the
way he
thing.
told it, it's like it were like a Ron Lyle Foreman.
Well, that's the thing with lies. They've got a habit, particularly when they're filmed, of catching you up, haven't they? Which is why I don't tell porkies. That's why I claimed I never claimed when I did compete in my sport that I was any good, because there's footage out there that shows you at the best I was a bit less than average. So it always pays to be honest before someone throws some truth at you via some footage, doesn't it?
I remember Dave Allen at Wyoming in Mazda, and I forgot. He said, "Oh, he didn't know about that." And I thought, "Yeah, Dave," because Dave keeps his cards close to his chest. But when we're in the gym, Robin Reed were like, "Never. Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, that's what John's saying over here." He went, "God, Russ, John
Yeah,
Fury in a life and death reacting one day."
yeah.
I went, "Yeah, I'm going to check that when I get home."
Yeah, I think Robin Reed knows a bullshitter from a mile off. He was one of my favourite fighters to watch. He was. I can still remember being four watching him win a bronze at the Olympics.
Yeah, I remember Robin Reed when he won his.
Sorry, I was eight, 92.
Yeah,
Apologies.
it were light middleweight, bronze, and then he went on to fight Nardiello in Italy and knocked him out.
He did, and I think that was a fella that had beat Ben, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nardiello. I might be wrong, but yeah, I remember that. I really
I don't know if
liked
he
it.
beat Nigel Benn. I'm not sure about that. I think
Yeah,
Nigel Benn beat him, didn't he?
yeah. I
But
think I might never take my observations as fact. I think you might be right, but yeah,
Sugar
I
Boy
really.
Malinga. It was Sugar Boy Malinga who beat Robin. He also beat
Yeah.
Ben.
I didn't know you knew. I didn't know you knew Rick Reed. He was one of my favourite boxers because
Yeah,
I got on the tail end when I used to watch him when he fought on the BBC for a while and stuff, and I watched him get robbed by Otke. Really
yeah.
liked him. Really got a lot of time for him. But I'm segueing again, Porky.
Well,
Sorry.
Robin Reed, he fought. He won the belt and lost it, and he'd had 5 fights on the trot, all hard fights, WBC hard ones.
Yeah, never had it easy, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Decent Olympian, won a legitimate world title, still in good shape, and seems a lovely fella as well.
He is a lovely fella. He's a nice kid, Robin.
Yeah.
Nice kid. All right, then. Well, listen, Sean, thanks for coming on. It's been
My
nice to
pleasure.
meet you.
I really
And
enjoyed it.
we'll have to do it again sometime. All right.
Fantastic, Porky. You take care, my friend.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Sean from Scunthorpe. Women love him, men want to be him. That's about it, boys and girls. Better get ready for Andy now, who is not from Aberdeen. Go on, peace out.